Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. Welcome to African. Today's panel discussion. Africa is the most creative and innovative continent in the world. However, it's in the film industry, it's either used for stories or film sets for movies like The Gladiator, Blood Diamond, and many more, leaving the continent's film industry stagnated and exploited. Today's discussion about factors that can hinder the film industry. My guest today is Kevin Kasyoki from Kenya, joining us from Nairobi. Joining us together as well is Nnenah from Nigeria, Lagos, but currently in Ghana, Accra. Mr. Kelvin, welcome to today's panel discussion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Michael. I am looking forward to having a wonderful discussion with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Nnenah, welcome to today's panel discussion.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning, everybody. I hope we have a wonderful conversation and I pray we have a good time.
Thank you very much. Yes. So Mr. Kelvin is a filmmaker from Kenya. He's an actor, TV presenter, and he's known for his role in My Life Story. And he's also a famous TV presenter and producer in Kenya. He's also a product of Youth Film Platform. However, I think it's very important that we get to know him more from inside. Kelvin, may you tell us more about yourself?
Thank you very much. So, Kevin Kasyoki is a youth from Kenya. I am a student at the university pursuing a bachelor in mass communication. I'm clearing next year. I should have graduated by next year. So I'm also an actor for both stage and film. I have various credentials for stage, a best actor in a stage play for various school productions and various festivals, all through my primary, secondary, and university schooling. I also have a few credentials for my screen presence. I've done a couple of local TV dramas, The Trappers, Jello Five Star, and the rest, featured in so far two international movies and a couple of local movies. And in 2019, I was fortunate enough to interact with YFP for the first time, and we made a short film that got nominated for the Kalashas, and that was a big milestone for me as an actor. And the COVID came, so I had a certain volition to join TV, and I started doing TV presenting. So far, I'm doing my second TV show. One was Kasuku Talent Show on KTN Home. It's a local station here. And the one I'm doing currently runs on Y254 channel. The mother station is Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. So I'm an artist under Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. And the show runs every Saturday at 7:30 on the said channel. So far, so good. And here we are at YFP once again. Yeah, so I think that is, in a nutshell, is my life.
All right, very, very interesting. Rich CV for a young man. Before we get into it, I just want to ask you to give us your experience with YFP and how Youth Film Platform Africa has impacted your career in film.
Thank you very much. That is a very good question. So I wouldn't start with my personal views. Let me start with how I have experienced YFP. So personally, I think YFP is a visionary movement that targets a very powerful audience, that is the youth, because the demographic of Africa right now, the filmmakers that are here, some of them are getting their time is moving. They're getting older, and what YFP is doing is it's giving youth the expertise to get the knowledge on how to make films, how to produce films, how to market their films, and how to distribute their films, which generally is securing the film industry future here in Africa. Because I was very happy by the way they were doing a collaboration of many African countries. That means that the knowledge is not only concentrated on one African country, but it's diverse in many African countries, and that is very commendable. That is very good, because film is a very powerful industry that can generate revenue and provide a lot of employment and career opportunities, especially for young people. Now, on my personal side, when I joined YFP, I was intrigued. First of all, because the guys we were making the film with were from outside. We had the cameramen and producers from, I think, Pakistan. The names were, I think, Wali, Sheikh, and what was the other name? I forgot the other name, but they were from outside. So that meant we would get an opportunity to like tap in to what these guys are doing back in Pakistan and maybe translate it here at home. And oh my, the visuals for that movie were good. I have been to other, say, student sets. For example, I've done a local university movie here, and the kind of coordination they had compared to the students for YFP, it was it was remarkable. Everyone knew what they had to do in their particular departments. Everyone knew the roles they were supposed to give and everything they had to do on the set. That was very commendable, because normally in a student film set, what I expected was chaos and confusion. Everyone's trying to give in their views, everyone becoming the director, everyone becoming the DOP, but roles were specialized, and that was very commendable. Secondly, what I liked was the hands-on experience YFP was given to students. Because normally you'd go to class, learn about film production, learn about manipulating film equipment, and that was it. You go home with your degree or your certificate. You only know the theory. You don't have something to show that you are actually on the ground doing the actual work. And that is something I liked about YFP. And so far, so good.
Very, very, very good story there. And I've seen that we joined by Samuel from Kenya. Is also in Nairobi right now. Samuel, welcome to the panel discussion. Right time. All right. So we're speaking about factors undermining African growth industry, the film African growth. So we know that we're not where we are. We're not where we're supposed to be. So in your experience, Mr. Kevin, what are some of these factors that are hindering the growth of the African film industry?
Yeah, me
Thank you
guys.
very much. Thank you very much once again for that wonderful question. So I will speak on factors that are within and without. By within, I mean factors that affect particular industries in Africa, say Nollywood individually, Bollywood individually, and say Riverwood here in Kenya individually. And by without, I mean general factors that affect the entire continent as a holistic industry. So first of all, uh, the fact that you said we are not where we want to be means that there is a set standard on how films should feel and look like, right? By that I
Yes.
mean comparisons being given to industries established like Hollywood and Bollywood, and to some extent Nollywood, yeah, because it's a big industry in Africa.
Yes.
So among the facts that I find limit or hinder filmmakers in Africa, we cannot we cannot ignore the aspect of funding. For you to make a good
Yes.
production, you need a good budget to facilitate things like paying of actors, crews, securing locations. And in most African countries, the local native filmmakers rely on government agencies for giving them funds to facilitate their filmmaking. For example, here in Kenya, we have the Kenya Film Commission responsible for giving out grants, funding particular films, and these are part of the government. And we all know how governments in Africa work. We have to battle things like corruption,
Mm.
embezzlement of funds, and just money being squandered here and there. And you find 99% of the time, not every filmmaker in Africa gets the chance to be given these funds from the government. That means more burden on the filmmakers to make their own film, write them, produce them on their own, and even distribute them on their own. In fact, I would say The average filmmaker in Africa spends majority of their time looking for funding as opposed to making movies and making films, which beats logic. A filmmaker might spend 2 years looking for funding for a production that might take 3 months. It's that bad. It's that bad. If only would have like ready funds. I know I'm going
Yes.
to be producing this movie in the next 3 months. I know KFC will come in handy, give me a grant, produce my movie, and maybe even distribute it for me. And also, the issue of funding is brought about by the fact that most countries in Africa are, say, third world countries. Most of the money we get goes into funding things like food security, building infrastructure like schools, hospitals. Some things we lack. I'd call them basic needs. So, majority of the funds that governments would want to put in film end up being channeled to other immediate and other as per se basic needs. So I think that also
Yes.
deprives the film industries in Africa a good source of like money to kickstart their productions. And also, I
Yes.
personally think most governments in Africa have not understood the monetary value of the film industry. They don't understand that through film you could get revenue from advertising, or maybe just
Yes.
opening up your country to tourists who would want to come and visit the country. Because some films are filmed in Mombasa, and they capture the serene environment, the beautiful nature. Some tourists will want to come and visit these places, and that drives some more revenue into the local economies through film. Because
Yes.
we have had stories of film sets in Hollywood being tourist attractions. Somewhere
Yes.
where maybe Pirates of the Caribbean is filmed, people go visit those the shipwrecks, and it brings some more revenues to the country and to the film producers and production houses as well. Because
Yes.
10 years past the film, you still want to get something from what you made, and that those are the little things that, as per se, limits the production of films here in Africa. Yeah, so I
Yes.
think funding is a fundamental factor that needs to be looked into, because to get quality, you must invest quality, and by quality,
Yes.
it's a good budget. You can't dream of producing a movie that is Netflix standard with
Hmm.
a budget that is Netflix substandard. It beats logic.
Yes. You've made several good points. Funding policies, which we'll get to there. You also highlighted that Nollywood is also part of Africa. So it means that Nollywood is actually making some type of progress. I wanted to bring in Nnenah because she's actually from Nollywood, and she's been in the Nollywood film industry for some time. Nnenah, from what Kevin said, do you think that Nollywood has done enough to grow other African film industries? And if they have, in what ways have they done so?
Mike, can you repeat the question one more time, please? You were breaking up.
Yes. So, Kevin, when he explained some of his points, he also hinted at Nollywood. And we can say that Nollywood is making some progress in Africa. Now, I'm wondering, has the Nollywood film industry contributed in growing other film industries across Africa? And if they have, in which ways? And if they have not, in which ways can they improve?
I'd like to say that, every society at one point or the other tends to evolve. And Nollywood, to be honest, has grown over time. It never used to be the way it is now. Initially we had substandard movies, then we had piracy issues, then we had issues where the filmmakers would work hard, and the people making the money would be pirates. Market would buy CDs and dub the movies and take them internationally. Now, what we have is that the filmmakers have come to understand that, okay, partners in this business and make money because they have made big billions from piracy. And what is going on now is you see them being executive producers, funding movies, buying equipment, going the extra mile. So now you see no producers are going the extra mile. If they need to get a red camera on set, they need to get 5. Whatever happens, we see some big productions where filmmakers are flying a full production set to South Africa to shoot interior shots. Interior. So that's to show you that okay, there's people are now bringing out the money. Do you get? Sorry, I apologize for this dog on behalf of the dog. Okay, now what we're having is, as opposed to when we used to have 5 days to movie or 2 weeks to shoot a movie, we're having big budget movies now in Nollywood, and at the same time, there's this sort of training going on where if you find a Nigerian filmmaker, even in another African country on a production set, you will know that that is a Nigerian because there's this difference. It's not a like chance, whole evolution that I'm talking about. Because we've had offices in Nigeria, we have had MTV Base come to shoot Sugar in Nigeria. You know, all this exposure has also helped the Nigerian filmmakers. It has put us on a platform where we've got to see things happen with structure. Like we've got to work with companies that have structures, so we get to learn that okay, there's a structure to how this is going. Suppose having an actor guild and a directors guild, independent filmmakers now go the extra mile even without joining the actors guild, because you know there's politics everywhere. Like Kevin said, let's not be let's not run the bush. There's things everywhere. The government might draw movies and then we end up and then they can't tell you where to win. So you know, it's the environment that we find ourselves in. But now we have these international filmmakers showing interest, and then there's the market as well in Nigeria. So it helps. So it's not like it's like other countries are not trying hard enough. Nigeria just has factors that are at our advantage. You know, the numbers. We have the numbers. We have that exposure I was talking about, because we got to experience things like as an extra. I have a friend who was an extra on MTV Base Shoot, and she told me for every day they lost everybody in that's like 700 in Lagos, and then they had stipend. They were giving crew and everybody $50 every day pocket money. It was part of the budget of him. Now this is MTV. MTV is big, so filmmakers partnering with MTV got to learn that okay, there's a way to treat your crew. So now you see people like Baron Productions, like Basket Mouth, other filmmakers like Native Media now giving extras 30,000 naira a day, 15,000 naira a day. They make you want to become an actor now. So the hustle is now on. So you see now when there's the marketplace, you see the ginger. That's why you see the ginger in Nigerian filmmakers. And then that's why you see when we're outside the country, we still have that ginger. Because we're working with people that have worked with that value time. So you can't be sluggish when you're working with young filmmaker. You will know that you're just doing something wrong, you know, and that's because of that exposure. So exposure helps. True. And it is helping us in Africa. But I think that like we have been taught in YFP, more African filmmakers should also focus on the film business side. Because that's where the real money is. We have the talent, we have the stories, but we're focused on where the real money is. So as for me, I would say now we have more Nigerians that have made money and are becoming distributors. Like Film One Entertainment is a Nigerian. You know, now he's a major distributor. He's partnering with people like Dolby, Sony. these are the people making the money. Let's not lie to ourselves. So the more young filmmakers start to think towards the production side, I think we'll have a chance at making things
Okay.
work.
Yeah. I want to bring Kelvin in this as well. You had mentioned something about the Kenyan Classification Board, and by interacting with some people in Kenya and YFP, I have learned that Kenya is making some policies which is attracting even foreigners to come and work in that sector. How do you think we can take advantage of the policies? Because in Zambia here, I don't think we have policies that regulate the film industries. What policies does Kenya have? And Nnenah spoke something about the paying of actors. How is the paying of actors in Kenya? Because in places like Zambia, there isn't a regulation fee that an actor should get this much. So exploitation is inevitable. What policies are in place in the Kenyan film industry?
Thank you very much, Michael, and also thank you, Nnenah, for very good views on your understanding of the Nollywood industry and Africa. So, you asked about regulation here in Kenya. So, formerly, it was a dormant government agency, but now it's vibrant. It's called Kenya Films Classifications Board, KFCB. So KFCB is responsible for limiting things like sex, profanity, violence, drugs, to do sex, things like nudity, violence, the amount of blood you can show, the amount of injuries you can show, and also the various ages for exhibiting. We have the general exhibition, the family, the 16, 18, and above. So formally, you would watch you would watch a movie with your parents, and it gets to a point, the scenes get a little bit out of hand for your age, and you're sitting there looking at your parents, you're wondering, should I look at my phone, should I watch the movie, or should I continue? But now we have some formalities on who can watch certain movies and who cannot, which is good because it means that filmmakers are now getting told to understand the audience they are making their movies for, and the market they're making their movies for. You cannot make a war movie that has a lot of blood scenes and all firing guns that is meant for kids. So these are some of the things KFCB is trying to normalize here in Kenya. Things like same-sex couples. It's an issue all over the world right now, and we are Africans, and some things we don't necessarily support, and some countries don't necessarily support that. But filmmakers cannot shy away from creating what is there in the society. So if you want to create such a movie, you need to advise from the KFCB to know who your target audience will be and how to rate your movie. So that is the main significant stride classification board here in Kenya have been doing. And also you asked about actors' pay. So I have a very good story.
Yes.
So Nnenah mentioned that she had an opportunity, a friend had an opportunity to star in an MTV, uh, was it series or movie? I'm not sure, and they were paid really well. So 2 years ago, I was doing a multi-choice series, and according to us, I wasn't doing a major role, I was doing a supporting role. So according to us, what we were earning was very good. It was way above what we would expect to earn for such a role in other productions, so we were content. So I joined them when they were doing the eighth season. So and then after some time, the multi-choice crew came on set, and they were secretly asking some of the actors how much they were earning on those on the project. So you're content, you find this is what I earn, this is good money according to you, and then you tell them. So turns out what we were earning was like two times less than what we were supposed to be earning. You understand?
Yes.
So especially here in Kenya, actors are so accustomed to a specific pay range that if you give them something a little bit extra, they're comfortable. You get? It's
Yes.
brought about by two things. We have actors who are desperate, and we have a lot of actors who are jobless. In the sense that if you are in Kenya, Michael, or if Nnenah was in Kenya, and maybe a role fits me, but again, you can also fit in. If I say no to the role, they wouldn't spend more time with me telling me that, oh, we need you because of this and this and this. We like your hair, your outfit, your physical attributes. What they will do, they will move straight to Michael because they know Michael will be willing to do it at a cheaper price, and
At
also
cheaper rates.
he'll do it
Yes.
at cheaper rate exactly, and also he'll be willing to do it
Yes.
because maybe never featured in a TV series or or maybe a TV film or a film as per se. So what we need to do in regulating these rates in the African film space, actors need to understand their worth. Actors need to have agents who like who mitigate these financial things. Because as an actor, if you understand that I cannot do a film role that is below say $700 per per 5 scenes or per 2 scenes, that is your rate. That is what you need to
Mm-hmm.
stick to. Don't go below that, and don't
Yes.
also over price tag yourself.
Overpriced.
But
Yes.
overprice yourself exactly, because in as much as we want to earn big money like the actors in Hollywood do, we need to understand the work frame of our industry. It is an industry that is coming up. It is
Yes.
an industry that is still learning, and we need to give people like producers an easy time in giving us these platforms to act in and make movies for them. But there is a
Yes.
standard rates for actors here in Kenya. There are
Mm-hmm.
there are figures you're supposed to earn for maybe say a TV show, film, a documentary, an advert. So, but majority of the productions don't really follow that, and that is a challenge, especially for actors, and especially for actors who are coming up. So yes, for actors who are coming up, because as an upcoming artist, of course there are some days you need to sacrifice your skill, and by sacrifice I mean there's some projects you will need to do for free so that you gain some experience, you gain some knowledge on how the industry works, and that is fine. But when you get to the levels of being paid now, you need to be careful on how you give out your skill to the world, because at the end of the day, acting is a job like any other. It's like going on a set should be treated as the
Yes.
same way going to an office should look like. And I think African countries should
Yes.
introduce a pay wage for artists, not necessarily actors, but
Yes.
also people like musicians,
Before we
dancers.
go there,
Yeah.
yes, before we go there, I think I don't want to jump. I've got a question for that, but I want to remind you on a point that Nnenah also brought, how the Nollywood film industry has grown. And then she spoke about how people need to just understand the business aspect of it, and that's where you actually going. So understanding the business aspect of it, for you made a very good example, which is a big topic here in Zambia, where you can't afford this actor, you just go for a cheaper actor. And then the stories where producers are using people. How can we prevent exploitation? Because what that does as well is that when I'm in the film industry and I see that exploitation, it makes me shun away. It will make me go do something else. So in the process, that we are losing people because of the lack of character we have. So how can we prevent things like exploitation in your stage? And also, how, for example, actor just comes in, how is he going to attract an agency?
Okay, the thing we need as African actors and African filmmakers, especially for actors, to prevent exploitation, is something we call actors guilds. So here in Kenya, we have a Kenya Actors Guild that is meant to
Okay.
fight oppression for actors, fight over exploitation for actors, and most of the actors I know personally are not in the Actors Guild. Okay, there's a Prisk, but there's an Actors Prisk, and there's an Actors Guild, but not every actor is in an Actors Guild. If every actor will take it upon themselves to join these guilds, of course, a lot of producers and production houses will shy away from exploiting these actors because they know once they're reported to these guilds, they're gonna face the music, they're gonna face the law, because exploitation is it's illegal. It's very illegal because it's like overtaxing someone for something they are not meant to be overtaxed. That's just what it is.
Yes.
Because you cannot pay me something lesser than what is stated in the rates according to the Kenya Film Commission or the Kenyan government. That is exploitation of the highest order. So actors need to join actors guilds platforms that they can raise awareness on cases of exploitation. For example, here in Kenya, some time back, there was an uproar on some international production that was exploiting actors and script writers. Maybe they'd buy a script from you, get you to sign contracts that you don't even understand, and then after the movie is produced, you're like, hey, can I be part of the post production activities and everything, the festivals and all? And then you're told there was a such and such clause in your contract that said ABCD, which is limiting us from giving you the money we make from distributing this film. And apart from actors joining actors guilds, you also need to get like advice from legal practitioners and also people like agents who have a more understanding on how the legal side of acting works. Because as an actor, if
Yeah.
I'm exploited and I willingly signed a contract which said that I'm not supposed to complain of ABCD, which I didn't read legally, I'm not in a position to
Yes.
counter that. So that is limiting in matters
Yes.
exploitation. And the business side of film, especially for
Kevin.
Nollywood. Yes,
Yes.
yes, Michael.
Yes. I'm tempted to bring Samuel in because I'm tempted to bring Samuel in because I know he has something to say, but I just want to network is stable. However, on the issue of guilds, right? How effective are guilds, and what happens when a young actor like you or me try voice out on these big producers? Won't you seem like a problem? Won't they step on you? Won't other producers shun away from working with you because you seem to be louder? Doesn't that this is the reason why a lot of people are quiet, because they're trying to protect their job rather than trying to grow the industry.
Exactly, Michael. Because as a young and upcoming artist, you feel like if I speak out, so and so producer will see me, so and so producers will read what I said, and they wouldn't want to work with me in their productions because they know I might not agree with some of the things they do on set. That is a very big problem, especially here in Kenya, because actors that get listened to operate on the I have seen you in this production, I know you from this advert kind of basis, such that if I'm not known, no one will really be interested in what I have to say. And if I'm an up and coming actor, it means people are watching. So at the back of my mind, I know I should be wary of what I say in terms exploitation, and that in
Yes.
returns just it gets the industry rotting with a lot of expectation, especially for young actors. I've been called to sets where they're telling me we are going to pay you $10 a day for doing, I guess, some scene, which is supposed to be like the rate is supposed to be over that, but you
Yes.
can't speak against that because you want to grow as an actor, you want to gain this experience, you want to see how film industries work, and it's a big problem. What we need to do is we need to create a culture whereby the veteran old actors and the new actors can come together and
Yes.
share and interact, because we need the veteran actors to learn from them, and they need us to make sure that the next breed of filmmakers are as
Yes.
good as they are. You understand? So I think
Yes.
this
Yes.
interaction needs to be there so that things like exploitation for upcoming actors could stop, and we could
And
see a transition in the film industries here in Africa.
and and that's a very good point. Before I take you back to the major point like budget and things like that, those are factors that some of us cannot control because they involve governments, they involve big investors. So, but there are nitty gritties that we can sort out in the film industry. And I want to ask Nnenah this as well, and I think you please add on after Nnenah on this as well. Some of the things, for example, actors exploitation. The other thing is probably women exploitation, sexual harassment. Probably. So Nnenah, I don't know how this can be handled in the film industry. Maybe as a lady as well. Before you given a role or an opportunity, a director or a producer will want a certain maybe a kickback. Say these are things that are these things happening in our industry, and are they hindering our industry?
Well, I'll say this thing. Issues like harassment happen in every industry. the banks, in the hotels, in the hospitality business. There's harassment everywhere for both men and women. So in the entertainment business, you even have guys getting harassed these days, because you know what I mean. So it's an issue, no doubt, but I don't think it's strong enough to hinder the industry, because it happens in every industry, but then there's growth, because I think it has to do more with the person and the mind. For me, um, my is the platform is also very important, because for me, my first exposure was going to an audition and getting a call back with Africa Magic, and then we have um, like you said, you're talking about people that do the business. We have people like the presence of Africa Magic here, sort of like influences young filmmakers. So you don't have issues of education as much, because they give you a platform. They want you to bring content. They push you to go and produce, and there's a market to sell, and they'll buy if you miss the criteria. Same thing with Rock TV. Same thing with something like Airtel TV, Accelerate TV. You know, there are so many platforms, you know, that are open to Nigerian filmmakers that I think other filmmakers should also leverage on, because these are brands. Airtel is a big brand. It's a communication brand. Everybody knows Airtel.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Across Africa, it's
Yes.
not a Nigerian thing. So Airtel TV, I don't think it's going to be restricted to Nigerian filmmakers. So other
Yes.
filmmakers should take advantage of this. South African filmmakers too are doing a lot, because they are having these investors coming in and making waves. So the exploitation, as for exploitation, there's always been that, you know. But I think there was a way we handled it in Nollywood that is very interesting, and I'll share.
Yes. And please,
There was a time when the big faces would
Nnenah,
demand. There was it.
yes, as you
Yes.
share that, please also add certain policies Nollywood has put in addition to that, and to grow the film industry as well.
I'm
You
going
can
to do that.
continue. All right.
All right. All right. So there was a time when the film, when you watch a Nollywood movie, you will see certain faces every time, over and over and over again. And these faces started to charge millions to appear on your set. And when they come on set, they behave whichever way they like, because they want to be seen. They knew they wanted to be seen. And so some filmmakers and producers came together and said, no, this is not, nobody is indispensable. So you see that mindset got them to go in and look for fresh faces, new faces. So auditions were done on. There was a time when we were going for audition every other Saturday. Like actors would meet each other and say, "Ah, you are here today, hey!" Because people now knew the secrets of not depending on the big faces so much. So that also helped to grow Nollywood very well. So now you see in Nollywood, there's no one person taking all the shine. No, you see faces, and all these faces are contending and making money. There is no bad blood, because there's so much room. The market is wide, and the opportunities are wide, and they are leveraging on them. So the strength of the presence of an actors guild is not even restricting in Nollywood, because some independent filmmakers come from the UK. They are Nigerian. They come here. They have the money to shoot a movie. They put a crew together, or they partner with a production company, and they shoot. And when the movie goes big, they become big, and before you know, the rest is history. And that's when they even start to hear of joining the Actors Guild or the Directors
Good.
Guild. So we have no doubt, we have a censors board for film, but however, we have Nigerian filmmakers that push beyond the line. They go beyond. They get the movies banned here, and then we see the movie on Netflix. So you see, they leverage on
Mm.
several opportunities. They don't depend on only the
Yes.
censors board and then the
Yes.
restrictions. No. So that is why Nigerian filmmakers are making waves the way they are making waves, because
Mhm.
we don't allow anything limit us. We go the extra mile, we
Yes.
push beyond. You watch a Nigerian movie, or even the music, some of our musicians, most of the music that you hear making number one on billboard in the US is banned in Nigeria by the censors
Mm.
board. Do you understand?
Yes.
But it's topping the charts on the
Yes.
billboard in the US. It's in Times Square
Yes.
on billboards. So you see, that's the difference. So I think that stubbornness also
Yes.
helps. I won't lie to you. So these filmmakers saw, these big faces saw new faces that were doing better than them and that were hungry, for the fame and the success and all that. And then they had to lower their price by themselves. They came down by themselves, and then they started to become executive producers because they had some money, and then the industry began to grow. So I think those
And
kind of
and
policies
Nnenah,
helped.
and Nnenah, we have Esther, who is in Namibia. Namibia is usually used as a location for Hollywood blockbusters, but Namibia doesn't have a film industry. Now she compares her industry to the neighboring country, which is Zambia, saying Zambia is much better. And from your point, you said Zambia actually has that tendency of just relying on one source. So Zambian producers are taking the content to one place, meaning that the place they take the content is, and I won't name names, they have the power to regulate the prices. So I like that you've brought out that Nigerians are thinking outside the box. They trying to get opportunities everywhere and anywhere they can do. At what point did the government begin to support the Nigerian film industry, and at what point did they come in? What did the Nigerian producers do to ensure that the government, because I think this is what other film industries like ours, we're trying to do that. Maybe this can help somebody watching from Zambia from this.
Okay, I think basically what we did was show more than tell. What I mean by that is Nigerian filmmakers started to show that money can be made from this. And when our governments began to see that, okay, these people are not getting broke, it's making money. Even the pirates were becoming billionaires from the film because they were distributing, pirated copies. So how much more
Yes.
if we banned it and we started making these billions? So Nigerian filmmakers, they used action to pass the message across. That's what started happening. And then apart from that, the drive for young Nigerian filmmakers to get some budget or some funding and backup pushed us to walk into banks, to make pitches, things that rarely happened. Do you understand what I'm saying? And Multi-Choice also gave us a platform. I
Yes.
won't lie about that one. So we had production houses like Native Media, who now are on Netflix with Voiceless. That's premiering, I think, on 27th or something, and then other kind of movies. So you see, very spirits, some in the bank intentionally working for years, save up money, came out, resigned, then should produce a movie that hit box office so much that yes, okay, the government now had to get interested and say, okay, well, now you have our attention. What do you want to do next? Same thing with people like Funke Akindele. She shot Jennifer from her pocket, like she took the money to Jennifer the first movie, understand? And after that, just the government sponsored the rest because she first had to do. So what Nigerian filmmakers do, what we do as young people now, we come together, we combine resources, we combine money, we first do because we have understood that okay, this is how the people ahead of us got there. So we are doing first. You can't just sit down and be telling somebody, oh, you have this idea, you have this idea. Sometimes they will think you are just saying dreamer. So
True
but
that.
when you do some small and then show, they are forced to pull out the resources for you. The wedding party, Moabudu we didn't know, some filmmakers didn't know we could premiere in the UK, but she did the wedding party, and in 4 weeks box office 250 million. more Nigerian filmmakers started telling our own stories, because the wedding party, she told the story of a normal Nigerian wedding party. That's exactly how it happens. So now the factor of storytelling also comes in here. I wanted to bring it in. So apart from like you said, it's business. So if your story is also part of the business in this our film business. So Nigerian filmmakers now, apart from being daring, are very selective about stories that we're telling. You see stories like Oloture, stories on how girls are stolen, taken to Italy on prostitution. That is the situation that we find ourselves in. So sometimes the censors board might not allow us to show some of these things, but this is what the international community wants to see. So we're not shooting for Africa again, we're shooting for the world. Do you understand? So when you are doing that, big brands will be forced to sponsor you, because they are beyond Africa now. They want to see what you want to show. So when you show them those sites in Kenya, Namibia, the government will be forced to create an industry by force. But you have to first show. That's the truth. It's not rocket science. We cannot beat that one. We have to show. We have to sacrifice. We have to intentionally say, okay, we're going to set up a business to sell rice for 1 year, and when we make the money, we're going to shoot this film. Yes, that's how far we as Nigerians go for this. We don't just steal this thing. It doesn't just come overnight. We put in the work for real sometimes to make it happen. So that's how we got this far.
And Nina, just to add, you mentioned something that is part of the wider distribution aspect of our content here in Africa. So you mentioned piracy, and I think I'm a benefactor of piracy, because back in the day we used to get some of your hit films like Blood Sisters, like Guardian Angel. Those films were hits. They were massive hits here in Kenya, but how they got to us, I I do not know. But
You don't know,
in
you see?
some way we were just benefactors of. You just find them here. So I understand. I later came to understand when I grew up that it was piracy. So that means that the fact that Kenyans were appreciating content from your country, like Blood Sisters was a household name back in the day. The Guardian Angel was a household name as well. So that means there is some space for Africans to appreciate and exchange each other's content. It means that I can create content in Kenya, sure that Nigerians are going to watch, Tanzanians are going to watch, because some of the productions from Tanzania, like back in the day, Shumileta, it was a horror movie which was a hit here in Kenya. People were watching, but how it got to us was the main problem, because you would get hawkers in the middle of town with CDs with Ramsey on it and the Tonda guy, everything. And you would wonder, how did they get these films to these CDs? And why is it so easy to get them? Mind you, here in Kenya, it is very difficult to land your hands on Kenyan produced films. Very difficult. If you don't go watch them on cinemas, or maybe get a few on Showmax and Netflix, then that's just it. Which raises the question: we have a lot of local movie vendors here in the country as well. So, as film producers, why can't we, or filmmakers, why can't we maybe organize something with these local movie vendors? Say, I know 6,000 local movie vendors. If I give them their movie to sell at, let's say, 1,000 Kenya shillings per copy, which is say 10 or something, $10, $10. If he sells a movie for $10 and gives me, say, $6 or $7 out of that, that will create some revenue for me as a filmmaker as well, so that I am not constantly looking for distribution channels. And then the other thing about distribution, especially in Kenya, there is a time I like to call telenovela hour. So around 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. in 75% of all local channels, it is either soap operas from Mexico, from the Philippines, and from who God knows where. So you just shift from KBC, Citizen, NTV to here and there. It is telenovelas, and it is the sad truth, which begs the question: are filmmakers in Africa not producing enough content to be aired during these times? Are filmmakers expensive in giving their quotations to these media houses? And mind you, if we had like elaborate systems to allow filmmakers to showcase their content during these times, it will be very good. We've had hit series like maybe say Backstage from South Africa, which ran for 7 years, from 2000 to 2007. 7 years is a long time for a TV series, and a TV series of your own making, of your own actors, of your own crew. That is good to watch on national television. You understand? Because I'm definitely sure 8 p.m. in Mexico and in the Philippines, they don't watch Kenyan content. And yet here we are playing their content from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. We watch the news, then go back to more telenovelas from Mexico, Spain, and God knows where. And it's a culture that has been there over the years. It's been there ever since I was a child. And the
True that.
situation, yes, the situation was so
Yes.
bad. You get three telenovelas running on a national television. One from 6 to 7, watch the news, watch some local content for 30 minutes alone, 7:30 to 8, and then from 8 to 9, another telenovela for 1 hour. And then after the 9 p.m. bulletins, you get another telenovela that runs from 10 to 11. It's just it's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. If only these media houses can commission some projects from filmmakers,
Okay.
then I think
Me,
Africans can learn to appreciate the industries we have and beg for more content, because at the end of the day we create content for viewers. So distribution is very key. And also I like the fact that you mentioned that
yeah.
these big names that will come to your set and behave as though they are gods or something, they were humbled. They were humble. So that has been a problem here in Kenya. Because you'd go for an I personally, there was a production I went for an audition for like 4 times. 4 times. You attend an online audition, the second one online, you send your videos, you go for the first physical audition, the first callback audition, the second callback audition, only for a veteran actor to come and audition once and get your role. You get this gets the motivation out of all the actors, all the young actors out there, and it's a problem. But as you said, Nnenah, we need to show these actors that, hey, you're not indisposable. We can do without you. We can make movies without you, and that will emphasize things like humility, working together, and learning from each other. Because it's being biased, because in Kenya you see same face. It's an issue, by the way, same faces, same characters over and over again, and people would argue that it is their hard work that put them there. We don't argue against that. Of course, someone is working hard. They need more platforms to be seen, and they need more platforms to get their work out there. That is fine, but at the same time, they are not the only ones. They are actors that need your guidance to grow. They're actors who, when that actors you fame will be gone or will move to another industry, and you need their replacement. So we need to culture these systems early in advance to accommodate young actors, and in turn grow our film industry, because at the end of the day we want our movies to be making billions of dollars in the box office, and also in our own box offices here back at
Yes.
Africa. So yeah, we need.
Kevin,
Yes.
before we actually run out of time, I needed to ask you this question, and Nnenah spoke about it. We've watched a lot of pirated Nigerian movies in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
past.
yeah.
However, Kenyan movies are not highly accessible, are not highly pirated. What uh, what um, what preventions have been put in place to avoid that?
Okay, apart from the prevention aspect of it, I normally tend to look at it as like a business. Here in Kenya, when you're making a film, you're looking to make money, right? And to get money, you need to make sure that you get the money you invested in your film. So filmmakers here in Kenya tend to channel their projects in places where they are sure they will get money, so that in most of the time they're not really targeting to reach a broad audience or something. They're just looking to, I invested $25,000 into these movies. I need to make double that movie, and the only way I'm going to get that money is if I channel my movie to this channel. So that is why it is very hard to pirate Kenyan content, because it is put in premium platforms where it is very hard to pirate.
All right.
That being said, piracy is still there. Piracy is still there, and it's a real challenge, because, as Nnenah said, in Nigeria, the pirates became billionaires and started making movies. Now you understand. So that, in a way, the money they pirated came back to the industry. You understand. In Kenya, it's not the case here. You go pirate movies, make money, go and start a car showroom somewhere. So that money goes into another industry altogether. So, if, in as much as it's a real issue, piracy here, I think people should like look at it as a, okay, it's illegal, it's unfair to filmmakers, but it's there. So we need to embrace the fact that it's there and look at it as a, and look for ways which we can counter it. You get, like Nnenah, pirates are not making films. It's, in some way, it balances the equation, but not justifiable. You get, but
Yes.
the issue
I
comes
want
from
I wanted to get some. We're running out of time, so as we begin to round up, I wanted to check some comments that were online. Unfortunately, I can't access them, but I do remember one that was speaking about the lack of training. Yes, there's a point being spoken about lack of training, and YFP has made some development connecting Africa, connecting people like you and me and Nnenah from different parts of Africa. Are film schools they accessible in Kenya? And then I also want to say is that the growth of Nollywood, has it brought about film schools? Because the reason why I'm also asking that is that you in Nollywood, but you go into a film school in Kenya. So do you agree that I think more film schools are needed? And if they are there, what can we improve on? So we can start with you, Nnenah or Kelvin, and then from there, yes, before we wrap up.
so Michael, you asked the situation on film schools in Kenya. First of all, a curriculum has just been approved here in Kenya to cater for film studies, uh, that is in universities and film schools. Uh, Madam Rachel can attest to that. So at the moment, the future is looking very bright for film studies here in Kenya. And then again, we've seen a good number of schools coming up, Talanta Institutes, we have YFP now, we have AFTI, we have ADMI, all these are film school. And these will go a long way in ensuring that people have the hands-on skill on handling things like technology, like in shooting, because we need to produce films that are quality, and quality means we have to have hands-on knowledge on devices and gadgets that are coming up every time of the day, because long ago we used to use cameras that operated on the film. Now we have digital cameras, we have the likes of Aris, Blackmagics, Panasonics, and whatsoever. We need people who understand how to operate these cameras at an early age. You understand? Coming to editing, we have softwares like Premiere Pro, DaVinci. You need hands-on skill to understand how these softwares work, and that has been addressed in Kenya by establishment of many film schools, and also the revamp of the film studies in universities and volitional college. So I think for us, as matters as film studies are concerned, we are doing good. We are doing good. Yeah.
Nnenah?
Okay. For me, I'll say, personally, in Nigeria, we have, in Nigerian universities, there's the Faculty of Arts. It's really revered, like respected. Most of the Nigerian veterans came out of one university faculty of art or the other, either University of Lagos, University of Nsukka, anyone. Jonathan, University of Port Harcourt, people like Sam Dede, you know, they are even lecturers in the universities now, in those faculties. So we have some of our veteran filmmakers teaching in Nigerian universities in Faculty of Arts, yes, teaching theater arts too as well. And they also appear on TV. People like he's on radio, excuse me, he's on TV, and he's a lecturer on the weekends. So you see my point. So we have that, and then apart from that, for me personally, I studied international relations. I wanted to do theater arts, but my parents didn't like it. So that's why I didn't have to study it. I didn't get to study it in the university. If not, that's what I would have done. But now, after getting the degree, I wanted to figure out more ways of getting it. I didn't want to go and do a second degree, but the film schools we have here are not as authentic as we would expect, you know. But some are coming now, like we have Dialect Institute. That one is a big one now. It's coming in with partnerships from some international people, filmmakers as well. So that's really good. It's really huge and it's expensive. So, you have to save up. Film school isn't cheap all over the world. We all know this thing, So that's another factor. The money factor is there. So as for me, that's why I always say I was the luckiest girl because this YFP platform, you know, gave us a scholarship. That's like pretty special. So that's why I
Yes.
was like, no, this opportunity cannot pass me by. And
Yes. All
another
right.
reason is that networking spirit, because I think African filmmakers have to network. For Nigeria and for Nollywood, piracy is like a blessing in disguise, eventually, because it brought our faces to Kenya, to Senegal, to countries that actors and producers wouldn't normally have taken their faces to. It took our movies to the streets, cheap on CD.
Yep.
You don't have to buy for
Um,
1,000. Now we have producers partnering with those rich pirates. So those pirates are executive producers on projects, bringing this money they have made to sponsor the film now back and then still be distributing. So we have figured a way to work together.
all right.
Do you
Nnenah,
understand?
I want to,
Uh-huh.
yes, I want to, I just want to, there's a question posed that at Kevin. I wish the question can come on screen about the taxation. Yes, Amolo is asking, what is your take on high taxation on film sector in Kenya? Do you think it's a big challenge to the upcoming filmmakers? This question is posed to you, Amolo. I mean, to you, Kevin.
Right. The issue of high taxation. You know, you cannot milk a calf. You need to wait until the cow is old enough so that you can start milking it. So I think that is how the Kenyan film industry is being treated. It's a calf, but we want to milk from it immediately. We don't give it time to develop. There was a time film crews from Hollywood were interested in coming to Kenya because of our beautiful locations, because of vast actors. But they shied away because of high taxation on acquiring locations, high shooting rates in Kenya, because it's very expensive to shoot movies in Kenya. So it's a big problem. It's a big problem. And I think we need to create awareness, especially to the government, and tell them, hey, we need those guys to come so that we can expose our industry out there and attract more people before we can now start milking these potential investors. You understand? I think that is the issue that is affecting our industry in terms of taxation, locations, shooting rates, acquiring film equipment. It's very expensive. In fact, it's an issue that needs to be looked at very urgently. Yeah.
And that's a very good question. And I like what you've just said about the Kenyan film industry, which I admire. But one thing I appreciate about my film industry is that, quite all right, there isn't much development, but it favors a young person like me, an independent filmmaker. I want to bring the issue of royalties and distribution. You see, film is about numbers. The reason why Hollywood hits those numbers is because they watch their own content. So Nigeria is able to make a big impact globally because of their population. How possible can it be for Nigeria to distribute Zambian content? Zambian distributors to distribute Nigerian content. Why are we, as an African film industry, looking out to people overseas? We've got the numbers. We're a big continent. We're a youthful continent. How about we distribute the content locally to ourselves and create the numbers locally to ourselves, forcing the international community to come and get our numbers? How possible is that? And what are ways that is possible? I can start with you, Kevin, and then with Nnenah. Please be as brief as possible because time is not on our side.
Okay, Michael. I think what I can say is we need to interact as filmmakers. We need to interact in this sense. We need to interact on making these movies. if we need to shoot a desert scene, we know that places like is it Namibia or something, they have a good desert places where up northern Africa, the Sahara, the Kala. If we need to shoot a desert scene, we don't need to go to northern Kenya in some dry plateau. Let's go to the actual desert. And when guys from those countries hear that this movie was made here, they would want to watch it. And also, we need to interact in the filmmaking process by bringing actors from different countries to interact. If I know that so and so from Kenya acted in a Nigerian film, I want to see what they did in the Nigerian context. That creates the curiosity and the thrill of people to watch these movies. So interaction is very important. Let filmmakers interact in making stories, in producing these stories, and also let them interact in distributing these stories, because Africa is very diverse in stories. If you've been watching Hollywood movies, they are very key on action, but they lack a storyline. That is the advantage we have. We have a lot of untapped stories which are authentic. Because I was watching The Conjuring 3 the other day, and it felt like a deja vu. It didn't even scare me at all, because it is something I've been accustomed to. I know this will happen. There's a Hollywood formula. We know of it. They introduce the characters, they introduce the conflicts. We go to a very emotional scene, they solve the issue, and it ends. So it's something we know. So why can't African filmmakers now give us what we are missing, give the world what is missing? So I think that is what needs to be done.
Nnenah, you can briefly come in.
I
Nnenah, are
think
you there?
she's frozen.
All right. Yes. In addition to what you said, there is the free trade agreement going on. How would that deal? I think Nnenah is coming in. How would that impact the film industry? And as filmmakers, I'm not hearing filmmakers contribute to the free trade agreement. So I don't know. What's your take on that?
First of all, allow me to speak on the broader perspective of it. Unions, for example, the
Okay.
African Union.
On my
These are these are binding factors that can unite African countries. And mind you, the AU has its film department. I don't remember the name. It's African Union Audiovisual something department. So yeah, through these unions, because this is where African leaders interact. Let us
talk now,
normalize.
please, you guys. I'm on.
Let us introduce matters to do with film, because
Um.
when these issues are raised at an international level, trust you me, they will be formulated at a local level. So the AU, these regional and international corporations needs to step up in creating awareness on the perspective of having film as an industry, than opposed to just having it as just something we rely on for entertainment. So I think those organizations need to look into that, and our leaders.
All right. Nnenah, you want to say something?
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but your
You're
network is
breaking
not
up.
too good.
Yeah. We just had light out. Another factor undermining film, but it's an African problem. So please bear with me. So I heard what Kevin has said. You know,
Okay.
already in Nigeria
Nnenah,
we have this in Nigeria we have this relationship with South African film. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, Nina.
And this relationship
Okay, Nnenah, I think your network, your net,
we
you,
where we them and then just some of us as well. We have their local content.
okay, Nnenah's network is a bit bad, and we're running out of time.
Yeah.
In
We have
terms
their
of
local
funding,
content. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to rush it. So what I wanted to say is we have local South African content in pidgin English showing on Nigerian TV. Do you get? This gives them money. Now they not force us to go for that partnership. They came for that partnership. So like Kevin was saying, interactions. We need to interact as filmmakers amongst ourselves in Africa. Because we watch
Can you
them
hear
at
Michael?
a particular time when they have subtitles and they're speaking the South African Zulu dialect, and then we have the time when they are there's ad libs, so we are hearing them speak. It's just like what you have in telenovelas, but we hear pidgin English. So because of this now, we have a love sort of like they have a target audience in Nigeria now, a South African production, because of that partnership that they have with African Magic. So I think that more industries in Africa, more film industries in Africa should be looking into partnerships and interactions, like they said. So that's what is going to really give you the market and the numbers. You can't force anybody to come to you, you know. Sometimes if you really want it so bad, you go for it.
all right, thank you very much, Nnenah. In wrapping up, I've heard the interaction aspect that we need to come together, and I'm sure things like memorandum of understanding can be signed. I've seen there's a good working relation between Nigeria and South Africa, both in the film industry and in the music industry. I think Kenya, Zambia, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Zimbabwe, we need to come together. And I think it starts with youths. It starts with me and you. It starts with these platforms. How can we get Rwanda on board? At least in YFP, we've got a good representation across the continent. How do we get more? How do we attract people in Ethiopia and tell these stories? So, as we wrap, Mr. Kevin, if you were, and I like to do this, if you were the president of Kenya, what would you do in 1 minute to improve the film industry? Then I'll ask you the same question as well. You're the president of Kenya, and you've got good working relationships with me, who's the president of Zambia, and Nnenah, who's the president of Nigeria, and other heads of state. What would you do to improve the film industry?
Thank you. That is very weird because I would want to work for the government in matters film and the youth when I grow older. That was very you read my mind or something. So what I will do is it's basically just interaction. You understand? I would monetize the industry. I would introduce a pay wage to artists, to not only just actors and filmmakers, but music artists who draw, people who do performing arts. You get? I will introduce a pay wage for them so that we don't have to rely on academic papers anymore. People have special skills. Someone can play the guitar, someone can play the piano, someone can play a traditional instrument, someone can draw, someone can act, someone can sing. Let's make these special skills that people have an avenue where they can earn revenue. You get? And by that, we also need to incorporate people from the outside. Like, say you are the president, I would talk to you, see how our artists can interact with each other and collaborate to make projects. So I think it's monetization of talent and interaction between locals and internationals. That's just what I have to say.
Thank you very much. Nnenah, you're the head of state, first female president of the oil-rich nation of Nigeria.
Okay.
What would you do for the film industry?
Okay, simple. I would create policies that would encourage banks and major industries to invest in the entertainment entertainment business. So that there will be to share some do you understand? And of course, for business, because these policies are this industry, the film industry cannot grow on its own. You know, they need they need big guys to come in and give them the way and show them the way. Fast and Furious would be nothing if car industry didn't going big on them. Do you understand? So we can't just allow them grow on its own. A child cannot grow on some nurture. Some people need to bath you. Some people need to clothe you. You know, so policies that would make these things happen are things that I would looking to put in place.
Hey, Madam President.
Very good answers. I would definitely vote for you guys. If I was the president, just before I add on what you said, I would touch the education system. That's the first place I would touch the education system. Mr. Kevin, you spoke about how foreign content from Mexico, from Yugoslavia is playing. It also plays on our local national television
Wow.
television things, which is bad. So what I would do is that I would regulate. I think in radio there's what we have. Okay, let me just read the comment from Kumalo, who's from South Africa. I want to get in touch with you guys. Please DM me on Instagram. This is good. This is what we need. We need to interact with each other. We need to talk. So we need more of these. I would personally make the content supply locally very cheap for you to access your content, and I would have a 80% policy on local content. So causing more local content to be aired on television and making it harder for foreign. I would also make it easier for countries, African countries, to regulate the content between us as well. Bring in issues like what you said, monetizing and royalties as well. There's many more things I would do. Please vote for me, then you'll see that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you on this discussion. As we wrap up, I just want to wind up on some of the good points you spoke about. Mr. Kevin, you spoke about the budget, that 90% of filmmakers in Africa are actually looking for funds rather than actually making films, which is different. And you spoke that we've got an advantage. We've got the stories. Hollywood is running out of stories. They've got the action, but stories. And what do? They're coming to tell our stories for us. Nnenah spoke about how Nollywood has grown. It's not where it was. So passion was there. There was sacrifice. So meaning film industries like the Zambian film industries need to sacrifice, need to have passion as well. The business aspect did not miss on Nnenah's lips as well. In Africa, and any African youth watching this, listening right now, passion is not enough. There are people saying, oh, I've got the passion for acting. Passion is not enough. Get the knowledge. I think there was a comment from Roger that said training. Get the knowledge in film. Understand the business aspect of film, the business aspect of music. It seems that we have a continent that's overly talented, but our mind needs to get that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure again on this youth pre-session. We're graduating tomorrow, and I'm glad that Nnenah, you are showing your skills. YFP has definitely taught you a lot. And Mr. Kevin, it's been a pleasure. You've been a product of Youth Film Platform Africa, and we're encouraging Youth Film Platform Africa to reach out more, to do more, because it seems that there is a lot they can offer the country. They are bringing youth together, and I think governments can learn from this. It's been a pleasure. And thank you very much for everybody that tuned in to watch. God bless you, and have a beautiful morning, afternoon, and evening. Signing out.
Africa,
so
my
much,
name is
Michael.
Nnenah, the founder of the NAS Media and Communication Society. I'm here to talk about the partnership between the Media Society and Youth for Film Platform Africa. Our partnership has been very fruitful, very beneficial, very eye-engaging, and it has broadened our horizons and give us a broader picture of what goes down in the film industry itself. The information has been very valuable, very beneficial, very broad, very world-class, with world experts and regional experts with years of experience training our Namibian students during the the School for Youth Platform for Film Africa. Sorry, our partnership started in 2019, where I called them to organize a workshop for our students to learn basic film skills, and it was very, very nice. The information was very valuable, engaging, fruitful. It broadened our horizons. The information was very world class with people with years of experience. Wow, the information was so good, and we hope to one day work in big Hollywood productions and travel the world and attend the Cannes Film Festival with Youth for Platform for Film Africa, because we have a very tight partnership with them, as we are the only Namibian organization that has a partnership with Youth for Platform for Africa, and we want to give youth a chance to be able to express their creativity through film. And Youth Film Platform for Africa is just the right organization to do that, with world-class trainers with experience. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Esther Wombo, a Namibian marketing student at the Namibian University of Science and Technology, better known as NUST, and I also enrolled into an online filmmaking program with YFP Africa in August 2020 under a scholarship. I enrolled under the directing department as a second assistant director to both a feature film and a short film, and through this I was the assistant director for the camera department, and I learned a lot about shortlisting and storyboarding and cinematography, and I was able to also learn from mentors from all over the world, as well as networking with students from different African countries like Nigeria, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and the list goes on. I wish to use the knowledge and the skills that I have gained in this amazing program and apply it into the Namibian filmmaking industry. I am forever grateful, as this was the best educational experience I've ever had, and I'm grateful to Madam Rachel and all the mentors that took time to teach us and guide us throughout this whole entire program. Thank you.
Hello. This is Israel Dairo from Nigeria, a very, very proud YFPA student. 2020 Youth Film Platform Africa. Wow, it has been a roller coaster ride filled with goodness. I've been so blessed to have been part of YFPA 2020. Shout out to all our mentors, our teachers, the faculty, my fellow students. Shout out to Madam Rachel. You are the best, and we are going to make you proud. Youth Film Platform Africa has really taught me a lot. I've been involved in stage for over a decade, stage and theater productions, and I've been on a few movie sets, feature films, and a lot of short movie sets. And with a little bit of experience, you're learning on the job, you begin to think you know some things. But YFPA made me know that I knew nothing. Then YFPA made me know all the much that I know now. It is such a blessing, honestly, to be part of YFPA, having learned so much in production, in acting, in script writing, practical hands-on. It's crazy, it's mind-blowing how a virtual learning platform like this could have been so practical. In fact, more practical than some of the physical classes and master classes that we've been part of. I pray that God will continue to grow YFPA and bless our faculty, our board members, especially Madam Rachel. Thank you so much. I look forward to doing so many great things in the movie industry, using the tools and equipment that we've gotten from YFPA. It's YFPA to the world. Ciao.
To my fellow graduates and lecturers, greetings to you all. It's been an amazing journey. I'm just gonna go straight to the point. It's been amazing. I've learned so much from all of you. Thank you so much, Madam Rachel, for giving me this platform, for me to be able to express my creativity on a larger scale. Thank you so much to Kevin for being so patient with me. At times I was not present. I had school activities to take care of, but you were there. You kept on pushing, and I learned so much from you. Thank you for working, or I thank you, for allowing me to be by your side, not in a physical form, but trust me, I was there. So, and to my fellow graduates, all I have to say is that don't be afraid to fail. Failing is part of the journey. We were all born to stumble. You stumble and then you learn, right? You crawl, you fall, and then you stand and you walk. So that's the message that I have for all of you. Thank you once again, YFP family, for the contents, for the classes. It's really been amazing. I really learned a lot. I don't really think that I can put all of that to words. And I can't wait to have an opportunity one day, maybe not this year, maybe this year, maybe next year, but I really hope that we meet in person. So thank you. This is Romario from the sound department. I'm so happy to say that from the sound department, and I love you all.